Hi tubes. We're getting ready to degrease this engine here. I don't know if you guys have been following 805 Road Kings. I think he's got 1 or 2 videos up by now. But if you haven't, I got a new project here I'm working on. I think it's a 1946, maybe 47 Briggs & Stratton. I think it's a half horsepower. Just a little single cylinder, little tiny engine. And he picked it up at an auction, and it was all frozen up. And wasn't much to be done with it except for the gas tank that came with it, which here we go. Here's the gas tank, and believe it or not, these things go for about 50 bucks on their own. So for the price he got the whole engine, he could have bought about 4 or 5 of these. So he asked me to restore it since, like I say, it was all frozen up and nothing else could be done with it. So I said, yeah, I'll do it. Sure, it's worth a project. I'll get to learn something. And so we took it apart. He's got one video up already, and he's documented all that. So you have to check his channel out for that stuff. But I got all the big stuff to clean. I've got the block here. Here's I got the head. Here's the base. This is the bottom, and I actually cleaned this up already at his house, so that came out pretty good. And then I've got a whole. You can hear it. Got a whole bucket of parts. I'm not going to take all of them out now because I want to conserve valuable workspace. But either way, I'm getting ready to clean it up. I tried to degrease it the other day, just with the spray degreaser. I had everything laid out in the driveway, and I sprayed it down, let it sit for about 20 minutes, and then I sprayed it off with water. But when I sprayed it off and then I looked at it, they barely looked any better than when I started. Some of the grease had come off, but for the most part it was still left. All the heavy dirt was left over, so I realized that I hadn't done things the way I should have. So we're going to do them right now. Get it? We're going to do it right. We're going to do it right now. Anyway, we got just regular gasoline sitting in a tray. I got my gloves on so I don't get skin cancer. And then we have a little toothbrush, and all we do is scrub it down. We don't have to get it. Like this part right here, you can see. I'd zoom in for you, but I got gas on my hands. You can see right here, it's a little rusty. Right there. We're not trying to scrape the rust off. The gasoline won't take that off. We're just trying to get the grease, obviously, and then the heavy dirt that's held on by the grease. And so all we're doing is using this handy dandy toothbrush, and it works really well. I'll zoom in here for you so I can give you a little demonstrative action. Stand by just a second. There we go. Zoom. Alright, that should be good enough. We'll zoom out a little bit. I don't want to get too close. Don't want you to get disoriented or anything. So let's see. I've already started working on this. As you can probably tell, it's already pretty clean. But here's an area. Right here you can see there's some dirt. I'll bring it up a little closer. It's hard to tell. I've got my camera on a different setting because there's not a whole lot of light out here. So, but for some reason that's causing it not to focus. There we go. That was that toothbrush. So you can see there's some dirt there. So if I've had it soaking, so I shouldn't have to worry about that. But if I scrape it off a little bit, I mean, it won't come right off, but if you give it some solid scrubbing, it'll come right off. Check that out. Gotta take the toothbrush out so it focuses. That's interesting. I'm having trouble with it because of that new setting. There we go. See that? Good as new. And that's all we want. We're not trying to get the heavy grime off or like I said, the rust. All we want is to get the grease off because we're going to sandblast all this. And actually this I probably won't sandblast. But the block and stuff we're going to sandblast. And you don't want grease all over it when you're sandblasting. Plus when you're putting it back together, it makes it a whole lot nicer. You're not getting grease all over your hands. And of course we're going to paint it. And this again won't get painted, but you get the idea. So I got part of the air filter here, the acorn. So I'm going to start working on that. We'll leave this out to dry. But either way, I thought I'd show you what we're doing. We won't bore you too much with this stuff. Maybe when I do the block I'll film a little more, but like this air filter isn't real special. This is what they call one of those acorn air filters. They're kind of cool. But we'll put you on standby here, and we'll come back when we get to something more interesting. And if not, next video to look forward to is of course sandblasting and then painting. Because I'll probably put all that on my channel. So stay tuned, and if you haven't already, check out 805 Road King and see what he's doing. See what he's showing what I'm doing actually. Yeah. Alrighty. Alright, we got a bunch more parts in here. I just finished up doing, but I thought I'd show you something sort of interesting. I better zoom in first, so I don't have to take my glove off again. But anyway, you'll notice here I added some new tools here to make my job a little easier. This is just this is actually a real parts cleaning brush, and it's good. It's good. It really helps me a lot. But you can see I got the muffler here. That's done. I zoomed in to show you something, so I'll show you, and then I'll zoom out and show you what I've done. But if you look here, I have a paint scraper or a putty knife, and it's at the gasoline. It's actually taking the paint right off. Let's see. I thought it was grease coming off, but then I realized that's not grease. That's the paint. Sure enough, if I scrape here enough, yeah, you can definitely see it coming off right here. Hard to focus, like I say, with this new setting. You have to change that. But either way, you can take my word for it. Right here, all of this I scraped off, and I can probably get more to come off. Yeah. See, I have a screwdriver too. That'll help. Now you can see it coming off. There we go. So there's solid proof. So that's just something to look out for. I mean, if you're working on something like this, you know, don't waste your time trying to take the paint off if you're going to sandblast it, because it's a lot easier. But it will take the paint off. And my main point is don't confuse that for being, you know, for being grease. You think, wow, this grease is endless, and then I realized, no, it's paint. But I'll show you. I have the what is this? Can't even remember what this is. Oh, this is the cover that goes over the points. Here's the valve cover. That's all ready to go. Here's a muffler. That's nice and clean. Actually know that what I should do is with this, I should take it apart. So I guess I will do that. I'll have to do it anyway. Here's the starter pulley. That's all nice and clean. Just playing with the focus again. That interests me. Even though it's a bad thing that's not working, I'm still interested. So we're going to keep working. I just thought I'd show you that. And just about ready to do the block now, I think. Okie dokie. Alright, tubes. I'm working on the shroud now, the cover that goes over all the works. And I was getting ready to scrape it off, but I thought I'd show you real quick, because Road King showed in his label. He was trying to tell what it said. And he couldn't really tell. I got a light here, which might help. Yeah, that helps a little bit. He couldn't tell what it said, but I think one of his subscribers or somebody commented and told him it said Moto Motor, and I don't think the camera's going to be able to show it well enough, but I'm going to try and show you. When I put gasoline on it, it contrasts and makes it a little bit easier to see. However, it makes it reflect with the camera a little bit. Now, I think I can tell where it says Moto Motor. Let me get that to stop shining on you. There you go. I think you can tell. Moto Motor. I'm pretty sure he's right about that. And then down here, if I change the angle again, I think that says Detroit. And I was just talking to him, and he said that Detroit is actually one of the models that they made. So that's pretty interesting. And now I already had started to scrape it off when I noticed this, but right down here he said it said and, so maybe it said Moto Motor up across here, Detroit, and then Briggs and Stratton down there. I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't even have Briggs and Stratton on the name on there, because they have it on the other sticker. But either way, I thought that was pretty interesting. I kind of wanted just to document that before I go ahead and get rid of this, because it's going to all disappear in about 24 hours. That's pretty interesting. Moto Motor. Alrighty. Almost done.